Welcome to the Creators MBA podcast, your go-to resource for mastering the art and science of digital product entrepreneurship. My name is Dr. Destiny Kopp, and I help business owners generate consistent revenue from their digital product business without the need to be glued to their desks, constantly live launching, or worrying about the social media algorithms. I hope you enjoy our episode today. Hi there, Destiny here, and welcome back to the Creators MBA podcast. And if you caught last week's episode, you already know that I walked you through exactly how I was making money in my digital product business. But there was one part that I didn't go deep enough on. And so today, that's what we're going to be diving into. And in this episode, I want to take you behind the scenes of what I call my rinse and repeat business model. And this is what I would describe as a system that allows me to predict my revenue, simplify my promotions, and focus on what is actually working in my business. Now, this is the model that I follow across both of my brands. So HobbyScool and then my personal brand, my destinykopp.com brand. And I'm going to walk you through all of those details today. So you may be asking, Destiny, what do you mean when you say rinse and repeat? And it's very simple. I have a very set promotional calendar that drives everything in my business. And this gives me so much clarity. It drives my content creation, my membership content, my launches, and even my newsletter topics. I am very selective about what I say yes to. Not because the things that they're sending to me aren't good opportunities, because they absolutely are, but because I know that they're going to take me off track from my core business model. And that calendar that I have gives me clarity, direction, but I would say most importantly, this predictable income, because I can pretty much tell you right now how much money I'm going to make between now of the time of this podcast recording and the end of the year. And I would say that that is the power of a rinse and repeat business. So let me go into some of the details here. And I'm going to start with HobbyScool, which is my B2C brand. And in this brand, I run 5 online learning virtual summits a year. In the past, I've done more. This year, we pulled back a little. And next year, I am even thinking about moving it to 4, just because we've gotten a really good sense on what's working, what's driving revenue, how we can use these virtual summits to build our memberships. And I think we've really honed in on the best ones for us. So from each summit, we are generating revenue through a VIP pass funnel. And generally what that's going to include is like 1 order bump, and then I'll have 2 or 3 upsells in there. We also promote our memberships directly in that funnel. So for example, during the Monetize Your Craft Summit, the other thing that I'm going to do for that, we're doing an evergreen one of those in June. I'm going to do a live webinar that also leads directly into my part-time passion club. Well, I currently have 2 memberships. We have the Craft and Create Club, which is just for anybody who is interested in a wide variety of hobbies and crafting and creating things. And then I have the part-time passion club, which is set up for anybody who's interested in monetizing their hobby. And I'm also working on a 3rd one, which I'm super excited about for HobbyScool, and I cannot wait to get that one launched. And then the other way that we make money in HobbyScool is our HobbyScool shop. So that's our digital product Shopify store. And that also brings in revenue on a weekly basis. So sometimes I run regular flash sales or offer bundles or sometimes gift cards to encourage annual or lifetime upgrades to our memberships. So one of the things that I did recently that was a really, really big hit is I offered a flash sale and gave everybody who signed up for the Craft and Create Club on the annual or the lifetime plan. I gave them a $70 gift card to the HobbyScool shop. So on the marketing side in this plan, so I've talked a little bit about how I'm making money there, but let's talk about the marketing side. So here, the rinse and repeat. Obviously, we do the weekly email newsletter. That is non-negotiable. That goes out every single Sunday. I am doing Facebook and Instagram ads. I would say that is definitely helping us continuing to increase or grow our email list and getting people into our memberships on a regular basis. The other thing that we do and how we grow this brand is obviously the collaborations that we're doing with the speakers through the summit. We're also doing some, I would describe it as light blogging and podcasting. And we also use Pinterest there for kind of that long-term SEO type content. Occasionally, I do affiliate promos and sponsorships, but I would say that that's definitely a smaller revenue stream for HobbySchool. And this model that we have set up here runs like clockwork. And I've tested it enough to know what works for us and what doesn't. So that's that. Now, let me move on to my personal brand. So when I'm talking about my personal brand, I'm talking about my destinycop.com website for my newsletter. For my newsletter and my podcast, it is under Creators MBA. And here's what I offer in this particular brand. I have 2 memberships here. We have our Newsletter Profit Club and the Digital Product Growth Lab. I love both of those memberships, and they are very, very powerful to help digital product creators make that consistent digital product revenue. I also have my Hello Content shop where we have lots of templates and digital tools there. I also run tripwire funnels. So lead magnet to a tripwire course that we have. It might be like a course in a box program or a funnel cure program. And then we might sell them, the memberships on the back end of that. The other thing that I do here is I offer VIP Voxer coaching on Wednesdays. So this is mostly for members who want the extra support and they can upgrade and do that. Now, I have basically cut out all done for you and done with you type services. So in the past, I used to be a Facebook ads consultant. I've also built funnels for people and that sort of thing. I don't do any of that anymore. So if it's not inside one of our memberships, I don't offer it. Now, we have done some done with you type stuff in our membership, like we did the Get It Done week for basically doing all of your launch material in January in the Digital Product Growth Lab. So I do things like that, but it's inside of the membership. All of the traffic here too is, I would say, kind of a rinse and repeat. So I have paid ads that are going. I do occasional collaborations. Obviously, we have a pretty good organic content set up with the Creators MBA. That also do Pinterest here. And then we have our automated kind of tripwire type funnels. And I would say that just like HobbySchool, my email newsletter is a weekly priority here. Everything else is built around that. And I have a really, really predictable rhythm here. The other thing that I just wanted to mention here is one thing that I have learned this year is nothing converts better than a live webinar. And I'll be honest, I have definitely resisted this. I have tried evergreen funnels, low ticket tripwires, lead magnets with nurture sequences. And yes, I would say they're all working to an extent, but none of them have worked as well as my live webinars. And nothing has driven conversion like a live high value webinar where I personally show up and teach, make the offer into my membership then. So starting now, we're moving into June right now, what I'm going to be doing and committing to is running one live webinar every single month for each of my B2B memberships. So that for the Part-Time Passion Club that I'm doing in HobbySchool, for the Digital Product Growth Lab, and for the Newsletter Profit Club. So I'm going to be doing these monthly between now and December, with one exception being July. So that's my rest month. That's kind of my summer month. And it's definitely built into my rinse and repeat calendar on purpose. But I'm going to be doing those live monthly webinars for each of those particular memberships. So let's talk about why this works and what you can steal for your own business. And I would say that the reason why my model works so well is because it's built for simplicity, scalability, and sustainability, right? It's something I can do over and over and over again. It's definitely rinse and repeat. And it's not about launching new things every month or chasing every trend that's out there. It's really about getting clear on what you offer, when you're going to promote it, and how your lead kind of flow into those offers. So all of the lead magnets that I have for my various memberships, they very naturally kind of lead into that. So when I'm ready to do the live webinar, I have the right people who are going to be interested in coming to it. And I would say that, for me personally too, I have removed so many distractions. So if it's not on my promo calendar, if it's not one of the offers that I'm going to be promoting, I really, I don't pay much attention to it, and I definitely don't spend my time on it. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling scattered and you don't know what to do, here's what I would suggest to you. I would say get a pen and piece of paper and kind of map out your own rinse and repeat model and ask yourself, what's working right now in my business? Where am I chasing tactics that don't align with my business goals? And if I had to simplify down to 3 to 5 repeatable things, what would they be? So, when you're thinking about those 3 to 5 repeatable things, some things to think about might be, how am I going to get people into my signature offer? Because that's your big money maker. So that's very, very important. One of the most important things you can do. How will I find people and lead them into my signature offer? So kind of your lead gen. And then how will I nurture them? So I would say if I were kind of just starting out and setting up this business model, what I would focus on is a weekly newsletter. So when people come into your world, you are nurturing them on a regular basis. You're letting them know about what events you have coming up, whether it's a live webinar or you have this new lead magnet or you have this new podcast episode. How are you going to be nurturing them? So a weekly newsletter. Have a steady lead gen system, whatever that might be. I know a lot of my clients are doing like YouTube content and getting people on their email list or YouTube. Some of them have very, very strong Pinterest accounts where they're leading people, getting people on their email list. What I have found works the best for me is, very, very simple Facebook and Instagram ads with the lead form. That is working very well for me to kind of grow my email list. Obviously, I'm still doing collabs and I'm doing other things, but if I had to pick one for me, that's what it would be. And then I would do a live at least probably monthly. I used to say quarterly, but now I'm getting to the point I think it almost needs to be monthly if you want that kind of consistent revenue coming in. Doing one live workshop, like literally one live workshop every month, where the only thing you're doing is taking the workshop that you did the previous month and you're doing it live and you're teaching it live. And I would do that over and over and over again. I have done so many live webinars this year for my memberships. It is becoming super easy for me to sit down, do the teaching, do the pitch, I don't have to recreate everything every single time. It's already there. Like I've already done it. I might make some tweaks here and there. I definitely have learned some things along the way, but it is a rinse and repeat model. And I would say if you do those 3 repeatable things in your business, you are going to be successful. Now, you got to have the right offer, and there's a lot of other things that go into that. But once you start doing that, you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn so much. Okay, so there you go. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear your questions about what your rinse and repeat model would look like. Respond to any of my emails, shoot me a DM, and until next time, stay focused, but most importantly, stay simple in your business and keep rinsing and repeating. Bye for now. Thanks for listening all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this episode today. If you loved the show, I'd appreciate a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Have a great rest of your day, and bye for now.